Cheese, ton of cheese. Cheese and cheese. The cheese and chili, the chili and cheese dogs, and a mound of shredded cheese. Man, they put a mound of shredded cheese on everything. Sabaidee, dudes and dudettes, it's Wrath, and welcome back to Bite the Hype. We're firmly in my least favorite season of the year, the hidden 5th season. Something I call the season of social obligation. I'm talking about wedding season, folks. And this week, we don't have just any old trad wife style BS. We have the holy grail of congregation amongst well-dressed strangers, the destination wedding. This is gonna be balling out at an all-inclusive resort nestled near clear oceans, mountain vistas, and umbrellas and drinks non-stop. And I'm just with you. The wedding is in Cincinnati. But here at Bite the Hype, we love a good old lemonade made out of life's lemons. So we're gonna take this semi-involuntary vacation opportunity to check out what the legendary Anthony Bourdain lovingly called a mutant hybrid. That's right, the Ohio culinary gift to the world, hipster food fusion icon, Skyline Chili. I actually think Cincinnati Chili is more divisive than deep dish pizza, so this should be interesting. Founded in 1949, Skyline became Midwest famous for their Greek-inspired clove, cinnamon, cumin, and God knows what else infused chili. Not wanting to stop the freak show there, they then decided to throw that strange concoction on top of plain spaghetti noodles. If you're not familiar with other Midwest abominations such as bacon-wrapped cream cheese pickles or puppy chow, it'll definitely test the limits of what your mind considers edible cuisine. Also included on the menu are various arbitrary vessels that carry the famous chili. The most famous being the cheese coney dog, which was an early example of a viral food phenomenon. Dumping a flavorful meat sauce on top of a hot dog was a common dish that was served all over the United States. What a beautiful and simple time life was back then. So we're going to be going to the oldest standing Skyline Chili, which is located in the University of Cincinnati campus. Now that we know the origin story of Skyline Chili, let's check out the hype and see what people are saying about it today. Eddie S. The amount of cheese on this thing equates to going to the grocery store, getting a bag of shredded cheese and putting the whole bag and then some on there. Holy shit, that sounds good. Cheese, ton of cheese. Cheese and cheese. Cheese and chili, the chili and cheese dogs, and a mound of shredded cheese. Man, they put a mound of shredded cheese on everything. I bet if you ordered a side of cheese, they would put a mound of shredded cheese on the cheese. Alex S. There's nothing elegant or fancy about Skyline, but it checks all the boxes where it counts. Iconic, delicious, and affordable. The Cincinnati delicacy is a must-do when you're visiting. That's why we're going there just for the chili. Then we happen to have a wedding as well. Jason C. Showed the waitress multiple hairs of my chili, and she told me to tell the manager. I explained the situation to him. He seemed to act as if it was the norm, shrugged it off in what seemed like a half-hearted apology. Side note, waitress and food was amazing. This place got to be amazing. He's got hair in his food, and he still says the food is amazing. Ed M. What a great dinner. I got my 3-way inverted. What? It's like a Christopher Nolan movie? You can invert your dish?
Started without you. Hope you don't mind.
I'll catch up. Same for me, please.
Sue H. Disappointed. Chili was watery and the buns were stale. It's more than a decade since I've been in the area and was really looking forward to this. Sigh. Guess memories will have to suffice. Just like all the Star Wars movies. Okay. Enough screwing around. The wedding is in a couple days, so let's leave a little early so we can go enjoy Cincinnati and some chili. Let's go. So while there's over 300 locations of Skyline, we're gonna go to the heart of it all and go to the oldest location located in the University of Cincinnati campus. While you're in Cincinnati, there's probably a couple of things that you're definitely gonna do. Number one is hang out in the coolest neighborhood over the Rhine, or Über den Rhein, the largest cultural neighborhood in the whole of the United States. And it gets its name from its German immigrant inhabitants. And the Rhinelanders, as they came to be known, were integral in not only shaping Cincinnati post-World War I, but also in its revitalization in 2001. Another great activity is to go check out Findlay Market, the oldest market in Ohio, where they have fresh produce, a farmer's market, and a ton of great stuff to eat. There's so many choices, but I decided to settle on this breakfast egg arepa from the arepa place. I highly recommend the salsa verde. That was the star of the show by far. Cincinnati and the University of Cincinnati is also known for its architecture. If you walk around campus, you'll see a who's who of postmodern masters. Fun little fact, Cincinnati is also the prototype test bed for a lot of buildings in Manhattan. The first version of the Empire State Building and even the Brooklyn Bridge were all prototyped in Cincinnati. Another crazy thing you notice, nearly every building has a mural on it. I'm not sure how many there are, but it seems like there's hundreds. Stepping into this Skyline Chili, being the oldest one in the nation, gives you kind of the nostalgic feel that you really look forward to when you go into any old restaurant or diner in the middle of America. It still feels like a diner versus a chain, as many of the other Skylines do. And you can just tell there's like a sense of pride, not only of the people working here, but the people coming here to eat. So Skyline's menu is limited in the sense that everything kind of contains the same kind of ingredients. It either has the famed chili, cheddar cheese, or some combination of both. This is the famous Skyline Chili. This is a four-way. Four-way being spaghetti with the meat sauce, cheddar cheese, and onion. There is a five-way that also has just beans, but decided to forego that. The way system was basically invented as a way to quickly identify what you want on your chili. So you can switch out however many ways. Technically, you can go from a two-way all the way to a five-way. Let's try the famous spaghetti four ways. It truly is something that only the Midwest could come up with. So I actually had Cincinnati Chili at another establishment, and Skyline's version of it is a lot more subtle, much more preferable to me. It's already such a strong flavor. As soon as you start amping up those flavors, it just gets super unwieldy and just destroys your palate. It's subtle, it's super weird. It has that cinnamon kick to it, but it's not sweet at all. That's the best way I can describe it, is you do taste the cinnamon, but it's not sweet. By far the best thing about it is the freshly shredded cheddar cheese. It's almost like a cheese cloud. It has like a really strange bite to it. I don't know. I've never shoved an entire ball of shredded cheese into my mouth, but that's essentially what you're doing. Spoiler alert, I really enjoy the spaghetti four-way, but I can see how it will remain a divisive dish in the culinary world till the end of time. Maybe it takes growing up in the Midwest to understand the crazy concoction that is Germanic and Polish and Greek flavors all colliding. Let's try the other famous thing, the coney dog. I've never had a coney dog from Coney Island with coney sauce, but I imagine it's the same thing. It's some meat, sauce, on a hot dog. Eating this kind of food makes you wonder if interdimensional space travel is actually possible. Because how could one actually make this kind of concoction without being high? You're talking about post-World War I. People aren't getting high-grade medicinal marijuana. But, oh my God, if you were stoned, this would be an insane thing to eat. It's more of the same kind of flavor that you get from the spaghetti four-way, but obviously there's a hot dog in it, and this bun that's almost been nuked to death by the sauce. It's pretty soggy, but the flavors grade A stoner food. I really like it, and I'm a little bit ashamed to admit it. And the consolation prize today is the Greek salad. I have no delusion that this is going to be anything special, but knowing that the restaurant and the flavor profiles here are of Greek origin, I'm hoping that it will at least be somewhat serviceable. Sadly, but maybe not surprisingly, it is a pretty bad rendition of a Greek salad. There's none of the freshness or the oil and vinegar hit that you get that makes a Greek salad really enjoyable. It's basically lettuce and some feta. And then if you're lucky, you can find these little cubes of cucumber. I do not recommend this. It was eaten. Hopefully there were some vitamins given, but it was a mistake. I really do enjoy going to food destinations in cities, even if it's something very humble and modest like a chain. And with Skyline, the sense of history and pride that the city exudes makes it kind of a special experience to come here. I'm from Iowa, and there's a chain called Maid-Rite that has something very similar. So I totally understand it. Kudos to the people of Cincinnati for making this abomination that I find enjoyable. It's time to pay the bill, get out of here, and we'll head back and do our official review. Woo! It feels good to be back in the cold, unwelcoming embrace of New York. Those weirdos in the Midwest and their hospitality and manners really freaks me out sometimes. Anyway, it's that time again. You know the setup. We bite the hype, and then we write the hype. What's hype about Skyline Chili? Skyline Chili is truly unique, and somehow this early version of fusion cooking stands the test of time. Walking into this, the oldest location of the franchise, gives you a brief but welcoming glimpse of how much simpler things used to be. Comfort food is universally known as a Southern thing, but the quirkiness of the Midwest deserves their own mismatched seat at the table. What's not so hype? Let's be honest, it's a love or hate relationship with Cincinnati chili. It's definitely not your trad chili. The sweetness in the chili can be a surprise, and the portions of cheese could flatline those with lactose intolerance. Speaking of health, it's the opposite of a light meal. Be sure to schedule some horizontal couch time directly after a visit. Chili 4-way, 4.4 out of 5. Give into the embrace of this dish, just as the shredded cheddar cheese embraces, smothers, and nearly suffocates this chili concoction. There's a fine line between cuddling and holding someone down so they can't get away. To me, Skyline Chili is about showing love in its own weird, Midwestern way. Cheese coney, 3.9 out of 5. I assure you, there's a hot dog underneath this cheese toupee. The chaotic mess delivers a couple of great bites until the bun completely dissolves into unpleasant oblivion. Greek salad, 1 out of 5. I ate this. That's all I can say about that, and that's all the thought it deserves. And that is my quick and extremely messy review of Skyline Chili. Definitely worth checking out if you're in Cincinnati and are into Midwestern versions of comfort food. You can really feel how proud they are of this dish, and that's one of the special aspects of traveling and eating the local cuisine. Let me know what you think of Skyline Chili, and if there's any other special places in your heart you think I should visit. Just leave a note in the comments below. Just remember, don't believe me or any other food reviews you watch or read online. Sometimes you just gotta bite the hype for yourself. Until next time, auf Wiedersehen and adieu.